Okay, so imagine this. You're a writer in the court of Queen Elizabeth I. You've got one job: make the queen look good. But here's the catch. Your queen is a woman ruling all by herself in a world run by men. Her very existence kind of breaks all the rules. So what do? Well, this was the real-life problem for one of the Queen's most ambitious writers, and his solution was nothing short of political genius, hidden in plain sight.
This was the tightrope that courtier and playwright John Lyly had to walk. You see, praising Queen Elizabeth wasn't just about writing pretty words. It was a political minefield. Praise her the wrong way, and you could actually make people more nervous about her rule. So how do you thread that needle? How do you solve a problem like Elizabeth?
Well, Lyly's solution was just brilliant. Instead of some boring, straightforward tribute, he decided to embed a secret, coded message deep inside a play. He turned a piece of royal entertainment into this masterful piece of political spin, all designed to do one thing: get him a promotion.
Now, to crack this code, you've first got to understand the man who wrote it. John Lyly was a superstar writer, part of a famous group called the University Wits. Think of them as the literary cool kids of the time. He was sharp, he was ambitious, and he was famous. But you know what? Fame just wasn't enough for him.
He wanted a very specific job: Master of the Revels. Now, this wasn't just some fancy title. This was one of the most powerful jobs in London's cultural scene. You were basically the gatekeeper for all public theater. You decided what plays got seen and what got shut down. So when his play, Endymion, was performed for the Queen in 1588, it wasn't just a play. It was probably the most elaborate, high-stakes job application in history.
So, how do you write a secret job application to the most powerful woman in the country? You use a special kind of code. And for Lyly, that code was his signature writing style, a technique so trendy it basically defined the era. It was called Euphuism.
In the 1580s, Euphuism was the absolute height of fashion. It's super dense, really ornate, and it was designed to do one thing: show off how clever you were. Think of it like the verbal version of the most over-the-top, expensive outfit you could wear to court. It was all about making an impression.
And here's what it sounds like. You can almost feel the rhythm, right? This perfect back-and-forth balance. Poor, rich, base-born noble. It's built on these opposites, like a seesaw of words, and it creates this almost hypnotic effect. This was the sound of being smart at court, and believe me, they could not get enough of it.
The style had all these rules, balanced phrases, tons of alliteration. But here's the most important part, the real key to the code. It was perfect for dissimulation. That's a fancy word for hiding what you really mean. This complex style lets you say one thing on the surface while hinting at something totally different underneath. In the cutthroat world of court politics, that wasn't just a skill, it was a survival tool.
Okay, so Lyly's got his secret code language. But what was the secret message actually about? Well, to get that, we need to understand two huge anxieties that were basically keeping everyone in Elizabethan England up at night.
First up, the biggest anxiety of all, the Queen herself. An unmarried woman with total power? To a lot of people back then, that just felt wrong. It went against the natural order of things. As one historian put it, it created peculiar tensions. So Lyly had to figure out how to praise her unique power without making it sound scary.
The second big anxiety was witchcraft. And what's fascinating is that there was this huge split. The official Protestant church said witches were basically delusional fakes with no real power. But if you ask the average person on the street, they were terrified. They believed witches were incredibly powerful and could cause real harm. This debate was raging everywhere.
So let's put it all together. You've got one extremely powerful woman on the throne who makes people a little nervous, and a whole public that's terrified of other powerful independent women, witches. This is the tricky situation Lyly steps into with his play Endymion, and his solution is just chef's kiss.
The play puts two powerful women on stage. First, there's Cynthia. She's a beautiful, divine moon goddess, and yep, you guessed it, she's a stand-in for Queen Elizabeth. Then you have Dipsas, who's a nasty, scheming witch. So, a simple story of good versus evil, right? Oh, it's so much smarter than that.
This is the core of Lyly's coded message. Look at how he sets them up. Cynthia, the queen, is presented as this divine figure. Her power is special, unique, a gift from God. But Dipsas, the witch, her power is portrayed as totally fake, basically a party trick. In the end, she's a fraud who gets completely erased. The hidden argument here is incredibly clever. Lyly isn't just saying our queen is good, he's arguing she's a one-of-a-kind exception.
And that is the punchline. Lyly solves the whole powerful woman problem by saying Elizabeth is a divine one-off. He praises her by creating this huge gap between her and every other woman. He basically tells the audience, hey, don't worry about powerful women in general. There's only one with real, legitimate power, and she's our queen. All the others are fakes. It's a genius political move.
It was an absolute masterclass in political theater, a secret message designed to win him the ultimate prize. So the million-dollar question is, did it work? Did John Lyly get the job?
The answer, tragically, is no, he didn't. In a heartbreaking letter he wrote years later, you can just feel his desperation. 13 years your highness's servant, but yet nothing. After all that genius, his incredible application was, essentially, rejected. We'll never know exactly why. Maybe the message was just too clever, or maybe he just got outplayed in the vicious game of court politics. And this timeline really tells the whole story. He bursts onto the scene in 1578, a literary rock star. 10 years later, he makes his big move with Endymion, betting everything on it. But nothing. The reward never comes. He spends the next decade basically begging for a position and eventually dies in 1606, broke and forgotten. It's just a brutal career arc.
But here's the final amazing twist. John Lyly, the man, might have failed. But John Lyly, the writer, he changed everything. His witty style, his smart female characters, his mix of myth and politics, all of it had a massive influence on the next generation of playwrights. And one young writer who was clearly taking notes was a guy named William Shakespeare. You can see Lyly's DNA all over Shakespeare's early comedies.
And that leaves us with this really big question, doesn't it? Lyly aimed his art right at the heart of power. He crafted the perfect message for the perfect audience, and it still wasn't enough. It makes you wonder about the real relationship between art and power. Is art a force that can actually shape the world, or is it always just looking for a stamp of approval from the people in charge?